With comrades to Automation, the car company tycoon game. Yeah, well guys, this is it. Finally, finally. I'm waiting for this now since, I don't know, since ages. And here we are in Automation, a great fun little game where you can basically create your own cars, and later you can export these cars and load them into BeamNG, which is basically a um, um, car simulation tycoon sandbox thing where you can drive the cars and destroy them. Whatever, let's get back to topic. Here we are at Automation. Well, what I have in mind for this channel is that I, here and there, create some sandbox cars for you guys that you can then download, of course, and play in BeamNG. And we will start with a pretty fun little concept, I suppose. I mean, it has something. And yeah, you will see it now in this video. So we will start with creating our very first car, and for that we go on sandbox. And of course, you can see I have nothing here. I have some mods, of course, but not too many. Because you maybe know it yourself, if you have a game where you have too many mods, you basically just crash the game. And now we have just wait for all these little icons of the cars to appear so that we can see the different models we can choose from. Because what basically Automation does is that it gives you the model year and all these different models where you can then select from what you want. So here we are. As you already can see on this very first page, we have two modded versions or two modded models, but we will start with something very basic, where I have the feeling like it could be something. So let's just think, do we go for a 2009 sedan? I mean, there's not much difference, except this one is a bit longer with 2.8 meters and that has 2.6. I always will use that metric system, or is it imperial system? I always confuse these two, to be very honest with you, because I think most parts of the world just use that. I mean, apart from Indonesia and USA, I don't know any other countries so far using, for example, inches, foot, yards and all that stuff. But we go for the shorter version of this sedan, I suppose. I like to have cars a bit short, and our company philosophy will turn out to you very, very quickly. So because the name of our company is Atomix Cars, which is, yeah, based on a funny little idea. So I myself, I'm a bartender, and I was doing a lot of drinks, basically energy drinks with vodka and then some flavors, and I called it Atomix, which, yeah, related from, of course, you know, nuclear things and stuff like this. And my very first drink was the Atomix Hiroshima. Why I call it like that is basically because the first bomb was dropped in Hiroshima, in that case, and so I call it Hiroshima, which was basically a cranberry energy with cinnamon and vodka. And we call so the very first car just Hyro. It's the Atomix Hyro. We will do, of course, different versions of that. The coupe, the bigger one, the combi, basically, the standard version, and a sports version as well, where you just have 2 doors but still 4 seats. That's, I think, what makes sense here. And also that then as an coupe. So this is what I have planned for the very first wagon, basically. This is the Atomix Hyro. So let's go. At very first we can basically, yeah, just select the basic stuff. So we will just go for very cheap stuff. It should be a car that everyone can afford, basically. So let's just go for the very cheapest things. But let's get a bit of more cabin volume actually, because what I want to do with Atomix is that you still have cars that can go fast. And one part of my philosophy is that we always use double wishbone, or at least for the standard cars. Quality, I will just keep it on 0. I won't go into the minus or plus. So here we are. Now we can create our engine, and we will call this engine, let me see, Shima. I think 2 E's is enough. We don't need to... Oh, wait a second. We do it Shima.
Shima.
No, okay, that's just silly. So we call it Shima, and we will do a very basic engine. So we do an inline 6, and we call this then i6. Oh, let's just do it like this, like iPhone. And this is i6 because it's my engine. So creative. So let's go on. Block material, we will choose cast iron. We don't need this prestige or reputation. Who cares about that anyway? Now the current engine does not fit. Decrease the engine size or use another engine. Well, that's a bit of a bummer. So we currently have 2.9 liters only. So I wanted a bit more. What's about if we go to V6? It's a bit smaller actually. You know what, guys? We will just move up to V6. So it's not i6, it's now V6. Massive level up. And with that, yeah, we go for just normal push rods. If the game does not... Oh, no, the game works. And cast iron as well. And now what we're gonna do is that we make this engine quite big, but before we do that, we go over to some other basic stuff. That's something I always do in the basic end. The engine size, compression, we don't need that. Turbocharger on performance. We should use fuel economy actually. I mean, it should be a car for the broad masses, for all these sheep out there. But what I will do is actually, let me just think, should we do an injection fuel system? I think that's actually, yeah, we do direct injection and we do it per cylinder, intake standard. Should we actually go for performance? No, it's not so good for the noise reduction, so let's just keep standard, regular leaded, stuff like that. And what I will always do is dual exhaust. That's also a part of our philosophy. We always have dual exhausts. Yeah, of course we need muffled, so it's not that loud. It should be able to drive the car in any country. So currently we get a peak of, wow, already 168 HP. That's not too bad actually. But we still can get something out of this. So let's get back to the basic engine. Let's just move up this a little. Let's just see how far we can go. I want to get to 200 horsepower basically. That's the minimum I want for this car, so that you have kind of an all-rounder. And it always says that the engine bay is quite full, so the service costs will be a bit higher for that car. So let's just go down a bit again, so that we try to achieve these 200 HP with some different stuff. Let's see, how far can we get until it says that the engine bay is quite full. I should just quickly save, because the game likes to crash here and there. So let's just move up a little. How far can we get? 94. Can we go to my berth? No. 94.3 is the maximum. So we have basically, oh, let's see, let's get to 4 liter. Yeah, that's nice. 4 liters. I think that's good. So we already had that. So now we can go to compression and cam profile and try to gain a bit more out of here, but we actually go in the minus. If we go higher with the compression, it's also a bit of stress for the engine as well. Maybe normal, let's say. We actually moved down a bit, so okay, that's also very basic. It's not that easy sometimes to achieve everything, but we are not done here. So let's just play a bit with fuel mixture, because we are pretty close to 200 and I don't want to mess up the complete engine right now. We don't need a big engine. We don't need something that's too over aggressive, let's say it like this. So let's go to 6,000 should be enough. And now let's go with the ignition timing. Let's move up that, because that should be way enough. And here we are at 200 HP at the peak. Let's say, can we get a bit more? Let's just be at 200 round. I like to have round numbers. That's also something we have in our philosophy. Like Germans, we want round numbers. So let's just test how this engine gonna sound. It shouldn't be too aggressive, I suppose. Now we get to the very hard part. That's something that everyone says is the hardest thing in this game. To morph the car or just get the car right. So, for example, we could do a very long but I prefer in this special type of car to have a very short end. Let's see. We can do that as well. It doesn't look ridiculous though. It looks a bit like this Renault S-Pass actually. So let's just move that back again. Let's try to have it a bit more aggressive. We want the cars to look aggressive, but they don't have to be aggressive. That's the thing. So move that out a bit. No, that looks just silly. It looks like a fucking shoe. Let's just put that back again. Maybe that's actually nice to have it that short. I like that. I like that. I really like that, to have that short car, because it compensates my giant penis. Now we go to the pints. So Atomix is something special. It's a special company that always uses yellow as a basic tone, you could say. So let's just call that Atomix yellow. That's how I like it. So let's go to the fixtures. That's what many people say is the hardest part of doing at a car, but it's actually the thing I like most at designing cars. So I already have figured out in my head a bit of a concept, you could say. So as I already said, we want to look the cars not aggressive, but you know, a bit more sporty, you could say. So let's just go through something like that. That's just turned down, like, you know, like evil eyebrows, you could say. So let's just make them a bit bigger, actually. Compensate our small penis. And what I have in mind right now is to darken the inside of these lights, and of course we need the indicators. I want indicators inside of these lights as well. So let's just quickly turn that down. Should we choose? I don't know if I like this carbon actually. I like to have it dark. That's just too. I like to have it matte actually. Yeah, let's just choose that. That's way darker. I like that. Make everything dark inside there, except the light itself then. So here we go. This should be exactly the thing that I had in mind. Exactly. So now we have the indicators as well. We have the basic lights. This is how our lights at Atomix will look like through all the cars, basically. I try to have kind of a concept for every car, you know, and that it's recognizable which company it actually is. So they will always look a bit similar. So let's go to the grille. And I figured out that people, meanwhile, love to have very large grills, which is a bit, you know, I think it's a bit pointless to have a big grill if you have a small engine, you know. It doesn't make any sense. Like, you need all this energy in there. So let's just quickly go for that. And of course, because you all like that, we do it like this. Yes, that's the new Mercedes-Benz. New BMW, of course. They have these very big new grills, by the way. Seeing them very often here in Munich. Lift that up a bit. Smaller. Now it looks like a police car, you know, these incaptors. So let's make that as well, a bit matte. Damon, you know, Matt Damon, like, yeah, you got it? No? Okay. So now we want to look at a bit more aggressive because that's just dumb. It looks like a very big nose and nothing else. So let's just get something down there as well. Let's just quickly select this, like these are the teeth, this is the mouth basically, and we make that this oops, that was the bright one. I wanted the darker one, yes. So let's make that a bit bigger as well, so that basically fills up the downside, and let's make it a bit bigger. Now it looks actually, you know what? It actually looks a bit like a Lexus. Now where I look at it, it looks a bit like a Lexus, but I like that. You know, it looks pretty standard, but still it has some sportiness inside of it. Make it a bit bigger, and let's move it up there. Yes, I like that actually. So let's just quickly go for these darker things again, for these darker colors. I don't know if I want to have that dark as well. It has something. But I also like it to be... Oh, wait a second. Can we do it like this? Bit chrome? Now then these things have to be chrome as well. Let's just quickly... You know what? We keep it yellow. I like that we keep it yellow. But what we should do is that we make this... Should we do this as an indicator too? No. Let's just keep it as it was. For some fog lights, basically, so we have more light in the darkness. So let's go to the back of the car. Now, what should we do here? I have an idea. You know what? You know, I have a very good idea for that. So let's just quickly go for that. Let's just take that. Let's place it in the middle of the car. And let's make it really big. That's our taillight. No, I'm joking. So, but with that, it looks a bit sad. You know, and this is, you know, here the storage back here. That's a tiny smile, and these are the eyes. Looks a bit like a frog. So let's just do it like. It doesn't make it any better. Fuck. Okay, let's just, you know, we just keep it. It's okay. We will keep it, but I want to make it a bit more going around the edge here, so that it also looks a bit more sporty here. Because I don't like to have something, you know, I mean, it looks like a Christmas tree. You know, you could just directly put a Christmas tree on the back on the car, and then you would have the same effect. Okay, so that's the tail lights, but we also need a bit of spice for the number plate. So what do we choose here? Do we choose something like that? Let's make it Russian, because you know it's a Russian channel a bit with the Russian hard boss. So let's make it Russian. Or should we just do it like this and choose? No, I don't like that either. You know what? We take a vent and put it inside of the vent, but not the same like we have in front. We take that one actually. I like that. Let's make it a bit bigger so it looks a bit more sporty, even though it makes no sense. I mean, what should come out of that? The thoughts from the inside of the car, maybe? That is nice. It looks very sporty though, but I like that. Even though it's a bit unusual to have the exhausts that up high, I should maybe just do that. No, we just keep that. It's okay. That's part of our philosophy. So if you know that's the thing. If you design something, you're a designer, so everything you do is intentional. And it's just freedom of art to have the exhausts up here. I also could do an exhaust. Can I do it? Yeah, you know, that's just freedom of art to have an exhaust, and then we do our symbol around it. That's actually a very tough choice. I don't know. You know, let's just go for it and take a look at it. That it's nah. I don't like that. It has to be flattened. Just like my humor. Scoops! Do we need any scoops? I mean, it's not an Italian car, but you know what? It would be awesome to have a scoop just on the side, which is basically just armor, of course. This is always a very tough thing, and what the fuck is that? I don't get what this door handle should be like. I have never seen something like this. Is it straight from Chernobyl? Could that be? Also, that one is very interesting. I mean, how does it work? Just like you put your hand into that thing? Oh, that's pervert. Let's just go for something else. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I have in mind. Oh, I don't have a pink color, whatever. We already have placed the number plate on the back. You also have a lot of countries where there's a number plate in the front. Do I want that? I don't know if I want that, to be very honest with you. But we have to go for the Russian one. Still, we have it on the back side as well. We need a Russian one in the front. Let's just test a bit. Oh, okay. Nah. What the actual fuck is that? Wheels! Let's go for the rims!
Rims.
Fixtures. That's actually quite hard. Misc fixtures. So miscellaneous section does have a lot of stuff I don't really care about. You know what? Let's just try that with blah blah blah. Cock and mouth. I can't speak anymore. Yeah, it's very big. Actually, it's very huge. That's what she said. But still, you know, we still have it here. So that's the thing. Now we need it for the grill as well. So where was the stem button? The stem fucking circle. Oh, there it is. Looks a bit like it's not in a row. It looks a bit like it got placed by a 6-year-old or so. Let's just get it a bit more into the middle then. I think that's fine. Now it looks a bit better, even though we still have this tiny bend in there, which makes it look like it's not in a row, but it actually is in a row. If you just look closely at it, let's just go really close. Like that. Like that. Yeah. Size, basically, so let's go for V6. Like a V6. Like a V6. We use it for the back as well. I mean, basically we have the light here, so normally you should see when the car turns, and if not, you have the indicator in front. It's enough. It's enough. We don't need to be over ambitious right now. We could do a disco car. You know, all this silly stuff is something I have in my mind, and I will do that one day over here, so people know, oh, it has a turbo. And then, you know, the sun of yours is coming towards you. Oh, daddy, please give me the car. It has a turbo. It's a sports car because it has a turbo. And on the other side, we put V6 again. Also should turn up things here, so it's just bigger. Like that. And where is number 6? I would love to do a V666, but I suppose that's absolutely impossible. But it would be funny. V666. So, this is basically how the Atomix Hyro will look then. But we are not done yet with the car. We still have to do a bit of settings, and we will go towards those. So, drive type, we take an all-wheel drive. So we have kind of an all-rounder with the Hyro. The very first car of ours has to be an all-rounder, basically. We take automatic, and I think 5 should be enough, so that you also can feel a bit more sporty. But you know what? We take 6. Yeah, we go for 6, so all these youngsters can have a bit of fun with that car as well. Safety, let's take, I think advanced. I think it should be enough, you know. I mean, what has changed in the past 10 years? Nothing. I mean, we just got smartphones and stuff like that. And now we come towards all the things I said will change. How much is it? And now So now we have created a perfect car according to automation. If it goes about, mistakes and stuff like this. Testing. So this is the Atomix Hyro. It's basically finished. Well, the standard version of it, of course. I will do a little special video where I will present you all the other models, and or I will do completely own videos on that. I think that makes more sense. So the Atomix Hyro series will go on, of course, but here we have everything. So the summary basically is over here. We have a Type 5 door and 5 seats. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, of course, 5 door. I'm just dumb. 6-gear automatic, double wishbones. The white is actually quite interesting. I thought it would be a bit lower, but actually it's 1.8 is actually more than I thought first, but it's still okay. For that type of car, it's still okay. We have 200 horsepower on 5,000 RPM. That's actually okay. Redline is 6,000 RPM. That's actually okay as well. You know what? I think that's actually a good car. So let's just quickly export that car. And we will export that into BeamNG and directly test it in BeamNG as well. And as you can see, what automation does gives us the information that some parts won't be rendered as we selected them. This is a bit unfortunate, but we have to deal with that. So now, as you can see, the front grille is different. It's not with these two tooths, as I called it. And it doesn't look that aesthetic as it looked before, but still it's okay. The rest seems to be there, basically. We still can, we can still make the number plate a bit bigger. So let's just quickly go back before we export it. If the game still works and didn't crash. Oh, come on, I don't have time for everything here. You know what, I would just quickly start a porn or something. Ah, here we are. You haven't heard the last thing, did you? That was just a mouse. So let's go back to fixtures. Let's go back to this friend here. Let's make this friend a bit bigger, like that. Yeah, that's fine right now. Now let's save it again. Let's go to summary and let's export the car for BeamNG, where we will test it. But not in this episode, ladies and gentlemen. This is something for another time because the video is, I suppose, long enough already. But if you like to see that, then show that to me with a like and hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss the timeout where we test the Hyro in BeamNG Drive. That's everything for myself. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. And stay always cheeky brinky.